Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have included an updated district enrollment at everyone's seat as well. If you notice the difference between Friday and noon today, we increased almost 30 students, with many of them at the kindergarten level, so today's number is over the 405. I did not also include in my report, as of today, there are still 26 students in pre-registration status, with 12 of them kindergarten students. So in theory, that number could go up to 417 in kindergarten. If you look at our numbers, you will see a majority of our students are K through 5, with every single one of those classes across the district exceeding 400 students. That seems to be our new average. So it's just something that we're looking at. And I also updated the elementary class size charts at your seats as well. There are some larger sizes and there are some smaller. And in speaking to some of the principals, there will always be choices of keeping some classes smaller than others. We've had those discussions many times over the years, and that impacts some of the classes. Some grade levels can be higher, but because of the overall needs of the groups or the dynamics of the groups, that is done on purpose. Yes.
So, I mean, I am looking like at the Good Now numbers,
Yeah.
like how are some of these numbers going down? Like the kids like just never showed up?
Yes, at times, sometimes the students just don't report, or they are transferring or purchasing homes in other cities or have a lease. They may even start in August and then they have housing in another city September 1st. Yes.
Yep, that makes sense.
That's why we really look at our enrollment up through October 1st, because October 1st is that funding date.
Except last year, when we
Yes.
got like, how many kids? 80 kids or something after October
Afterwards,
1st.
yeah. But
I mean,
we know
crazy.
that for budget planning, that October 1st number is where we first, most school districts focus on.
Yeah.
I also said that I would come back and update you on staffing. When I last updated you on August 24th, there were 54 regular open positions, and as of today, there are 47 positions that are open. We had 9 teacher openings at the end of, on August 24th, and as of today, there are 6, with 4 of them being special ed teaching positions across the district. We continue also to have a district-wide nurse and a reading teacher. So the classroom teaching positions are all filled, but we do need those support staff positions, and those special ed are very important. We also, on October 24th, there were 14 behavior technician openings. As of today, we have 15. There were 19 paraeducator positions. That is, as of today, 17. We had 4 cafeteria worker positions. That is down to 3. We had 4 custodian openings, which, as of today, that's down to 3. We continue to have 1 administrative office support opening, and those other positions were reduced from 3 to 2. It seems like we've filled an LPN position, is no longer showing up as unfilled. We're still need to fill the Spanish translator and the the AAC specialist. So that is where we are today. So we are making progress, but we do still have openings. Finally, I did want to mention, first of all, thank all the educators in this district that endured and with smiles on their faces and in a variety of different strategies. The excessive heat that was the environment that many of our students and staffs were trying to continue on in their teaching and learning. We have some buildings that we have addressed, but the truth is the Early Childhood Center is not completely. They do have relief areas. This room and the gym is fully air conditioned. Kane School has the kindergarten rooms and the gym and the cafeteria, so there are places for relief. When the cafeteria project at Whitcomb is complete with the air conditioning, they'll have additional spaces, but right now they're limited to the auditorium and the library area. And that building, especially in the newer wing, gets excessively hot. And Richer School has no relief at all right now. There was one classroom with a window air conditioner that I went into, but we know that any building project we do will include probably some type of plan for climate control. We know that we're very thankful that Jarrick School was addressed and that it was a priority. I just think that a lot of the discussions that when I was in the rooms and students were asking, they were asking about not having school at all with excessive heat, and the teachers were saying June could be worse. And I think that is some of the fear. And so we know long-term, especially if we're going to have continued swings in temperatures, that we need to continue looking at different options for the buildings that don't have the relief systems that thankfully 3 of our schools do. So I thank you for everyone for everything you did last week.
Mary, can I just ask a question? Through the chair. You mentioned that somebody had a window air conditioner, and I was thinking about that the other day. I mean, have we looked into that? I mean, I would imagine we could probably get them in bulk, and it wouldn't be that expensive.
I thought there was a reason we couldn't use
I
it.
think it's the electrical systems in those buildings, especially, and combine that, and we'll say that Whitcomb windows really don't open.
Oh.
So it's the
true,
combo of the
one
windows in
building,
the in the buildings, and I think it's true in all 3 buildings, and the electrical systems, especially the old ones. I mean, Whitcomb potentially, but all the windows would have to be replaced, and I think they're energy efficient and were put in. These days, when window units are put in, they're usually put in as an accommodation for either a student or a staff member, and I believe the whole window has to be removed in order for that adaptation to be made.
It'll be over soon.
Yeah.
Through the chair. 2 questions, or one, I want to say thank you to the staff and everybody for those days. I know one of your primary focuses was because kindergarten and preschool were starting, and they were, I'm sure, very excited, no matter how hot it was, to get their routine started and their bus coming, and like, I can't imagine what it would have been like to have to reschedule it. But can you update us at all on any of the migrant children and how they're doing at Kane? And
so the students that were enrolled are attending Kane School. They are full members of that community. They are joyful, And a lot of the teachers many of the teachers had gone over and introduced themselves before school, and we did a couple of different transitions, so it's nice. There have not been any new enrollments since before school started. So all the planning we did is in place, and the community is very happy to welcome their new students.
Mr. Mayor, have you received any updates on any more?
Actually, we had 2 updates today, but it's not slowing down. Lieutenant Governor feels before the end of October. We're at about 6,200 families statewide now. Before the end of October, she anticipates that will be over 7,500 families with no end in sight until legislature decides to change something. There's nothing in the wind to change anything from the state legislature or down in Washington, D.C. So I know there's been a lot of encouragement from both the governor and lieutenant governor. They're not as open to the idea as pushing the legislature to change the right to shelter. It was never put in place for this. And we had 3 homeless situations in my office this week. One was a single gentleman. We're trying to find him in a room in one of the rooming houses. Have not been successful yet. One was a young couple she was pregnant, so she falls into the program, so we sent her to SMOC to try to get her in somewhere. And the other one, I think I had mentioned before, was a single woman that just got out of the hospital with some cancer surgery. We put her up in the hotel for 2 weeks. From there, she's going back to her car because we have no resource to deal with those. We're providing 3 meals a day. Laundry services, we pick up 18, or we don't pick up. The laundry service picks up 18 to 20 bags a day down at the Holiday Inn. They have food vouchers, they have spending vouchers, and we can't take care of someone that's a resident here. So, very frustrated that we don't have programs in place to take care of our own. We have veterans out there, we have seniors out there. We have a housing crisis that they talk about building more housing, but you know how long it takes to build a school, it takes that long to build a housing project. So, trying to get Washington to address the fact that we can't put a lot of these people to work. We've been fortunate. We have 3 or 4 that we were able to place because they did have paperwork. 3 or 4 out of 300-400. So it's very frustrating, and no one that can make a change is making a change. You know, like I said before, we're dealing with it. 76 communities are dealing with it at this point. As of today, it was 80. They consolidated a couple because it's easier for the resources to be in one community as opposed to 2 communities. They have deployed the National Guard to put some in place, but that's for the communities that don't have any social service organizations. We're fortunate that we have 2, so they've been helping out quite a bit. National Guard is there for just to support what the communities have going. They're not there for any security or anything else. So again, it has to change because there's nothing to change it. So someone has to do something because it's, you know, the schools can't be, we can't take a lot more students. I know out west they're looking at, they don't have the hotel space, so they're looking at, you know, buildings. Can we put cubicles in buildings because they have school space? Trying to get some kids out that way, but they also have schools pretty far apart.
Right.
Jobs are pretty far apart. So it just, like I said, I know we need the immigrants for a lot of different reasons, but we have to take care of our own first, and there has to be a process in place for immigration, and there's none right now. So, that's all the good news I have.
Well, thank you for the update.
And I think it was brought up a couple times today, to increase, is it 104 a day we're getting for the kids?
Yes.
And there was discussion, because one of the mayors was talking about, it's $735 a day, and you're giving us 104, so we want more money. So,
Yeah.
it's, whether that increases, it's gonna be
Above and beyond,
interesting,
right?
but,
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing is trying to spread out the Creo teachers throughout the state, and trying to bring that into, more community, less communities having the kids that only speak Creo. Like I said, we can handle the ones that speak Portuguese and Brazilian and Spanish, but it's frustrating, but we're dealing with it.
The funding is, so we get the per pupil, like the Chapter 70 money for each of the students, and the 104 is above and beyond, plus 1,000 per student. The 1,000 per student, though, is for additional needs, like clothing or eyeglasses or anything specifically that they would need that goes to the wraparound service providers.
So it's 104 above?
Above the regular funding, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that goes directly to the school department, I believe. So that would be the funds that we're setting aside for the staffing that we're adding.
Yeah. And that $1,000, does that come to us, or does that go?
It goes
It
directly
does.
and is allocated to the wraparound service providers to meet the needs.
May I ask another question? Have we identified any special ed students in that population?
Too
Yet.
soon, right?
I mean, we may not.
Not that we're aware of, but we would probably make sure that we're addressing language needs first before.
Of course,
Yes,
yeah.
but no significant.
Or nobody that came in
No.
with like transcripts or anything that
No.
said they were getting services.
And I was told today that you are still doing English classes down at the hotel, but I thought you had said we weren't doing that.
Not when the students started school.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was told that it is continuing, so I gotta
Unless
follow up and find out who's doing it.
Yeah, I will find out, because the woman that we had was teaching is a full-time EL teacher in Worcester, but loved the work she was doing. And we said we would continue. I just didn't think she committed to continuing. And Lynn's away for a couple of days, so.
I can follow up on that.
Yeah.
Good?
Yep.
Thank you. Ms. O'Brien?
Thank you. Tonight, I would like to update the committee on our Marlborough Early Childhood Program. Jill Reagan has been busy planning in her new role as the Director of Early Childhood. On August 30 and 31st, the Marlborough ECC teachers, paraeducators, and behavior techs participated in full-day trainings on the Talkies program for oral language comprehension and expression. This is an evidence-based program by Linda Mood Bell that is designed to develop a student's imagery, language connection that is the base for language comprehension and expression. This program is ideal for any preschool child, but it's specifically beneficial for students with developmental delays, language delays, or learning English as a second language. Staff will be provided with ongoing monthly coaching support by the Linda Mood Bell trainers. In addition, the Marlborough ECC staff last week began working on establishing their PBIS plan and teaching common developmentally appropriate expected behaviors to their students. They have identified their core values in alignment with the 4 elementary schools and have begun developing lesson plans. Ron Sanborn will continue to work with Jill Reagan and her staff on establishing common instructional experiences among the preschool classrooms, identifying and implementing benchmark assessments to monitor preschool's development and readiness for kindergarten. PK1 staff received training on a new math curriculum called Developing Math Concepts. Math Concepts helps students gain knowledge of how mathematical ideas can be learned through play active participation, and intentional learning tasks. Teachers utilize questioning techniques to promote mathematical thinking. In this school year, full-day preschool is now 5 days per week, Monday through Friday, with half-day morning and afternoon sessions remaining at 4 days, Monday through Thursdays. Last week, the staff opened their doors and welcomed 243 preschoolers into the classrooms, our future classes of 2037 and 2038. Yep. Makes you really feel old. There are currently 14 classrooms. We have 10 inclusive preschool classes for special education students. And we have 2 multilingual pre-K classes, and that's new this year, that are focused on instruction that supports level 1 multi-language learners. And we also have 2 substantially separate special education pathways programs. And I would say want to clarify, those 2 multi-language pre-K classes are not the only preschool classrooms that have multi-language learners, but they're specifically targeted to grouping more MLL students in that classroom with typical peers and focusing on language language acquisition. And from there, our goal is that practice with those 2 teachers, that they're going to, over time, build up more of our skills with the other preschool teachers to have those programs and practices across all of the inclusive preschools. And tonight, I do have Jill Reagan here to officially introduce her to the school committee. She's our new director of ECC, but she's not new to the district. She's served as ETL for the Early Childhood Center for the last 5.5 years and has worked closely with Andy Barnaby, the former director, as the second administrator of ECC. We're very, very excited to have Jill in this new role, and she's off to a running start. So welcome, Jill.
Hey.
Welcome. What great stories do you have so far?
Oh, boy. I can tell. They're just so cute and so excited to be
Can you,
here.
I'm gonna really put you on the spot. Can you come up?
Only we can hear you unless you talk into there.
Everything's been really great so far. I know traffic has been a point of contention, but we're working on that and working on arrival and dismissal routines and making some changes. But it's been great. The community's been amazing. So many new students that have enrolled, a lot of former students that have come back as PK1, and really just preparing them for kindergarten is our goal. And parents are very excited to have them back in school. And I think the heat did cause a factor for us last week, but I think rolling into this week, we're settling down and everyone's getting adjusted and doing really well.
Great.
Yeah, it's been good.
Welcome.
Thank you.
It's great.
And we love your new carpet.
Thank you, I know.
I know, it's great.
We're trying to make things new and updated.
It's awesome. So were we able to get an ETL for the building?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes. So Rebecca Groton, who was the former school adjustment counselor here, is now the educational team leader. She had obtained her special education administration license, and we were working on filling her position, and we did. Yep.
Great. That Terry's daughter?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good. And I don't know if you need to, but if you need to reach out to Chief Georgie about the traffic to get some ideas, please do. The other day, they were down Lincoln Street.
That was new.
Thank you. Minutes of August 29th.
Motion to approve.
Motion made and seconded to approve. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Opposed? Carries. Public participation. Any public participation?
Public comment. It's now called public comment. It's
I'm
wrong.
almost gone. Leave me alone, will you? It says public participation. So when Patty gets it right, I'll get it right. Is there anyone that wants to say anything? Thank you. Policy for first read, policy 8.014.
So thank you very much. So before you have policy 8.014, which is a change. And it's a change not only in title, but then in content. So if you actually go to the current policy, which is up on the website, it has a name that's includes life-threatening, but it's life-threatening, like lots of different stuff. It had a lot of process in there. So as you know, we really are trying to keep things more towards policy and not necessarily process-oriented. So any questions on this, please feel free to reach out. We really worked closely with the nurse supervisor, making sure that it aligned, and we felt it was really important to make sure that the allergy portion was in there, since latex as well as then food issues are just important to make sure that everybody knows. So, okay, so first read, hit me up with questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Policy for approval, policy 8.001.
Thank you. So we provided this policy last time, and we approved a title change. What we found is when we had our policy meeting that we advised that we were having on the 5th of September, pretty much from a content standpoint, there really wasn't any drastic change needed, but we felt that we needed to kind of reorder and re-emphasize the titles within more for a bullet point to make it, more easy that people could find things. So we just really reordered and put the mandated reporting piece on the bottom, so it would really make sense that all of the rest of the student welfare would be at the top with the mandated reporting thing right at the bottom, mimicking the title, okay? So I'm fine with obviously keeping it on for a first read, and you can take a look and we can vote next time, but it was not really a major change. So up to you all on your feelings if you wanted to do a suspension of the rules to
What's the
vote.
pleasure? There is no pleasure.
Is there any reason to not wait?
No, we're fine, because of you all being helpful on voting the last time on doing the title change. The title change has gone into effect. It, actually, the superintendent was able to work with everyone on having it like a specialty kind of call-out section, so it's easily found. There's no pressure to move this along. We can do it the next time, okay?
Great.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Donations and gifts. Aquana Studios, Jarrick Elementary School, $1,655.52.
Motion to approve.
Motion made and seconded to approve. All those in favor? Opposed? Carries. FY '24 FC 510 Gleam to Marlborough Public Schools, $252,000.
Motion to approve.
Motion made and seconded to approve. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Opposed? Carries. Reports of subcommittees. Anyone have anything? No. Members forum. Matthews.
I have reviewed and signed the warrant.
Fantastic. Thank you.
I would like to welcome our student rep for this school year, Risha. You don't get a microphone? Next time you'll get a microphone.
Definitely going to get
Anything that you want to say? Not really? Okay. Welcome.
Welcome. Any other members? No?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor? Opposed? Carries.